So, hello everybody, this is Juntas, and today I'm doing a follow-up video for my Fireclaw guide that I did about a year ago, maybe 10 months or so. I have gotten a few comments over that period of time that kind of made me question some gear choices, and it was specifically for killing fire immunes, cause I'm all about that sort of meta stuff. If I can't do all the content, especially carry Sanctuary comfortably, the build is kinda a fail. So early on I got a few comments that made me look into Medusa's Gaze, and it actually works pretty well. So this has a 10% chance to cast when you're struck, and lower resist does break some fire immunes, but sadly not all of them, so still those lords or other types of demons are not broken. Maybe the knights are broken, but not all of them, sadly. However, people kept suggesting to me to look into either Tomb Reaver or Grief or some other more physical setup, and then going mule, actually ignoring your Fireclaw damage and just utilizing the physical damage that you can do, and it works so well. So that's why I wanted to make this video now, to do a little follow up. So as always, it's fun to look at the character screen and just see how little damage you do with Grief. It's hard to tell if it's much better than Tomb Reaver or not, also due to being able to use a shield. I will however say I think it is somewhat better using Tomb Reaver than even a Grief and a Spirit Shield, because I was also very conflicted on shield choices. Again, I was looking into maybe utilizing Dream for some Holy Shock damage, it could work somewhat. Medusa's Gaze could also be another choice. I could also use a Storm Shield or J-Mog for even more fire damage. There were a lot of choices for shield slot, but at the end I just figured it has +2 to all skills. It also gives other stats that can be utilized just a little bit, but it was mostly just getting +2 to all skills that I figured would be the best choice for shield slot on pretty much any Fireclaw Druid build, if you don't need the survival from max block or whatever. Because it is of course very hard to max block on a Monarch without investing a lot of dexterity. I think right now I do have a lot of dexterity invested, which is a bit overkill, but that was the specific build that I ran with back then. Well, it's maybe not overkill, but yeah, it's quite a bit of dexterity, and I only have 64% chance to block right now with a Spirit Shield, whereas before I was definitely easily max blocking with a Storm Shield with my current dexterity. Another option you can also consider, if you get a really good Tomb Reaver, this one is of course very, well, this is perfect stats and whatnot, but if you only have maybe, well, if you get a lower roll Tomb Reaver that doesn't have that much plus all resist, you can maybe struggle a bit with resist. But if you do have a really good roll Tomb Reaver, you can utilize something else than Tri-Wrist Boots. You can use Gore Riders suddenly. You could also consider ditching the crazy helm here that I'm using for Fireclaw damage, and then going with Guliama's Face, or you can use Diablo. You can even go with Dream Sage, and then use Dream Shield. Like, there's a lot of ways that you can utilize going more physical damage, which is pretty fun. And then of course also Crescent Moon is a choice to definitely consider if you were gonna go with Dream. I think we're gonna also try that in the video, but here came the main point of the video. Now this shield here is very fun. This weapon is very fun to look at. You get all that sort of attack speed which you really want to just connect with fast hits. You get well, a little bit of fire resistance or fire damage and whatnot. Like, it's a pretty fun weapon to look at. But I talk a lot about speed in my recent Fury video that I did when I remade that one, but speed is not everything, at least not on this one here. So I'm tired of this shitty weapon here doing no physical damage, because even when Dracul's proc and you're using this weapon, you cannot leech properly. It's just so weak. It really is terrible for physical damage. It might be good for connecting fast hits for PvP, Fireclaw Druids. So again, this is maybe not the right choice for PvM. It's more of a PvP weapon to be able to tag very fast. And then I also considered something like this one here. You know, it's just an example weapon of what would maybe be the best one for getting okay physical damage and then very fast attack speed. But I still think I would rather just go with Grief over something like this one, even if I maybe do attack faster with this weapon. But the gear hasn't really changed since I did the video. I'm still using kind of random small champs to just kind of fill up some needed slots and whatnot. My resistance can be a little bit better on certain types of gear setups. Like right now I could maybe change out some poison resistance or whatever on the ring here. Just minor changes like that. But yeah, this is the first setup we're gonna try. So this is Spirit plus the Grief, and then later on we will do Tomb Reaver. And then finally I think I want to try Dream Visage, Double Dream plus Crescent Moon. And then I can maybe also consider use like Gore Riders, Jealous Main. Maybe try out this one at the end just to see how bad it feels going back to that one. Maybe even try out this one versus Grief. Anyways, before we proceed with Grief, I'm just gonna show the full stats now. They buff up, you know, 7,000 life, decent resistance with my current gear. I also do, remember, I do have both Mana Leech and Life Leech, and of course Life type proc. So overall I do have some good melee survival, you would think. But yeah, this is the stats with Grief, and let's just try find some fire immunes. And this is also again on, well, this is on players 5. I figured players 8 would maybe be a bit tough to test on, but we will see if I can consider players 8 later on. And never mind, let's go. I had a bad map, but now I want to try again. So still Grief, and let's just try find some fire immunes and test this out. So my mercenary is a full infinity merc and whatnot, so he's of course going to do quite a bit of damage, but I'm going to try test damage where he's not connecting hits at the same time. So Venom Lord here on Fireclaw, so this is Fireclaw damage. That went pretty slow. Let's try Mule. Now my mercenary starts hitting, but you see that the damage is a little bit faster with Mule. It's maybe not huge difference, but it's definitely faster. So I think I'm like 10-shotting a Venom Lord with Mayul right now with using Grief. I mean, it goes pretty fast, especially also when my mercenary is assisting. Let's find another mob that is lone. Let's try and kill this one. My mercenary is not hitting that one now. This is pretty good. I would always say that Grief is definitely able to make any Fireclaw Druid able to clear players 1 at least pretty fast. Right now it is of course again on players 5 and everything, so On players 1 it's definitely gonna be faster. I would not think that this is usable or whatever on players 8 maybe, because then the damage does get a little slow versus fire immunes. But overall, just using Mayul, it's okay. If I could just get a Dracul's proc here as well, that would be nice. Sometimes Dracul is not really your friend. Just gonna spam some Fireclaw here. Maybe Mule there on the Venom Lord. Goes so slow. There you go. Try Fireclaw damage here. You know, those Oblivion Knights really just die so fast with Fireclaw, so it's fine killing the mobs that are not fire immune. Overall, satisfied. So let's try the next weapon. And so let's try Tomb Reaver. Again, this is a perfect Tomb Reaver, so it's of course gonna be pretty great, you would think. But overall, you see that the Fireclaw damage also rose quite a bit. And my mule damage is 6.5k or so. So yeah, let's try Tomb Reaver. Okay, I think I'm actually attacking quite a bit faster. At least it feels like that. Seemingly it seems faster. Let's try do a bit of normal clearing here with Fireclaw. Just getting some leech maybe. So Dracul's proc it there. Let's see some life tap maybe. I wouldn't say the survival seems that much improved. But Fireplace is also kinda hard in terms of survival and whatnot. Overall, it did clear that pretty fast. Let's try Mule now. If we could maybe find some fire immunes up here or so. Yeah, there's some Venolops here. Wow, yeah, okay, now I'm only using Mule. Let's try Mule on a completely new Venolord. So I'm just holding down Mule now. Wow, this goes... Oh, this is annoying. This is a huge difference compared to even Grief. Well, maybe not huge, but... this feels so much better. Damn. Okay, so that was a big difference. That was a big difference with Tomb Reaver. I don't think I need to test Tomb Reaver that much more. That seems to be the benchmark to beat if any other weapons can come close. And so the next weapon is going to be this full sort of weapon that I made. I only made this one because I could also get fast attack speed on it. So the idea is that I should be able to attack about as fast as, well, Tomb Reaver, so it definitely seems to go fast. Can't complain about the attack speed on this one, so let's try. So let's first try some Fireclaw, just getting some feel for Fireclaw damage. Attack speed is definitely fine. It shouldn't be a big problem attacking with that one. The sheet damage is also seemingly okay for Fireclaw, but definitely much lower for Mayul. So I'm not really sure what to make of that. But of course, Fuels is also more for attack rating, so maybe I should have made it into a Cruel or whatever. But it's nice for attack rating for PvP at least. So let's try Mayul on a lonesome Venom Lord or something. Let's try here. Okay, damn. Yeah, okay, that sheet damage does not lie. This is definitely more a PvP weapon. I don't even think it would have mattered if I went with fire facets in it or Cruel mod or whatever. So I could get enhanced damage on the weapon or whatever. Yeah, this is even slower than Grief. In fact, quite a bit slower than Grief. So this weapon is more PvP, and so it's out. And so the next setup is going to be Crescent Moon Dream. So this should be fun, trying something different here. Obviously Crescent Moon does not really have a lot of physical stats or whatever. So it has a bit of enhanced damage, but that's about it. I can't really use much of the other proc. Static Field is of course fun, so maybe that could be a surprise. Because when I made the video some time ago, I did try... other weapons, I can't remember the weapon, I'll just put it up on the screen now, but that weapon also has a static proc and it did help on fire immune killing. But yeah, let's just try. So Fireclaw damage is quite a bit lower now as well, not using that crazy helm and whatnot. Will the Dream however be worth it? It's very good on players 1 I guess, but maybe players 5 is not worth it. Okay, my Fireclaw damage is definitely lower, I can already say. So yeah, that's a bit of a trade-off. Let's try some Mule. Wow, did that actually go fast or not? I'm not sure. I actually think it works somewhat okay with static. This could actually be pretty good considering you always have your Merc around killing you, so at least you're doing some sort of... you lower the health of the mob a little bit until the Merc assists you. Could this actually be a viable choice just because you always have the Merc around you? And then just ignoring the Fireclaw drop in damage. Let's see if I can maybe survive this. I'm only gonna try to do Mule now. So no Fireclaw here. Let's see if I'm gonna die. Ah, the Merc is gonna die now anyways. Yeah, that Merc did not survive very well. But yeah, this pack also hurts. Let's try and kind of regroup and then go back to Fireclaw damage. Let's try and do Lord Disease. How much it's gonna hurt? Yeah, like free-shotting Lord Disease. But yeah, Fireclaw is also very strong on single target with no immunes. I think this needs a lot more testing, but my initial conclusion is that this could actually be a very fun setup for Fireclaw. Mostly just because you're always gonna have your Merc around anyways to help you with immunes. And if that Merc is as strong as an Infinity Merc, which is ideal to use on this build, then static is actually kinda cool. Yeah, I quite like this setup, but I don't think it would be maybe the best choice to go for this video, just because I want to explore the best sort of fire immune killing setup, and maybe this is feel free to comment about this setup if you've done this setup before more in depth. But for this shallow video, I think I'm gonna try and move on to the next one. And so the last weapon, the try-hard PvP weapon. I don't know what you could kind of call it, but it definitely is more PvP centric. It would maybe, however, be pretty good for just open world killing non-fire immunes. It's hard to tell what would be the best weapon for killing fire immunes. I'm really not sure, but the attack speed is definitely nice. Like, I can definitely feel that I'm attacking faster with this weapon. I could maybe try and compare it to 100% Tomb Reaver. I don't think there's going to be much difference, but it is probably a little bit faster. Yeah, it is attacking faster than even 100 increased attack speed Tomb Reaver. Yeah, it's definitely much faster than even a Tomb Reaver. So for general PvM, smooth field, PvP, whatever, maybe this is the better weapon if you're never gonna face fire immunes. But this is Diablo 2, so of course you're gonna face fire immunes. So it's a bit of a moot point. Anyways, the damage here on Mule is horrendous. I don't know what else to kind of call it. I mean, the damage is just... yeah. It's like being back in Act 2 or normal mode on a new Druid or whatever. However, the Fireclaw damage is fucking great with attack speed. Okay, yeah, damn, that's annoying. I can already feel that the Fireclaw damage just feels more smooth with the fast attack speed. It's pretty fun, but not being able to kill fire immunes properly, I think that's gonna work. You know, that's what's gonna make me not to want to play it. Right now I'm hitting with Mule solo. Oh, now I need to pop. I'm just gonna pop all my health potions there. But now I was hitting for Mule for such a long time, and the Venom Lord is basically taking no damage. So I think that's basically the conclusion here. I cannot kill fire immunes with this weapon, even with Mule. And I don't even think it would matter if I put on like Gore Riders or if I put on Gulliam's face. Maybe it would be a bit better. But that would also kind of nerf the damage of kind of like if I had worse resistance without the Triver's boots on. I would nerf my Fireclaw damage and whatnot. If I didn't use the weapon here and use Gulliam's face instead, then maybe it could be brought up a little bit, but it would still do so little damage in terms of physical damage. So yeah, I think the conclusion is just going to be that the overall best Fireclaw Druid that you could do for PvM to be able to kill fire immunes would maybe be that Crescent moon setup with Dream. It is fun to experiment with, but it would be... I would have to do a lot more in-depth testing. And then maybe just Tomb Reaver. It's a doable weapon to get. It can be very expensive, but I think even a low rolled one is somewhat okay to get trading for. You don't have to get very high stats on it to make it work pretty well. So yeah, I think Dracul's would always be the main glove choice. And then of course a Raven Frostwing could be considered just to get Cannot Be Frozen if you don't like the stats on the rare wings. Like this one is not really needed. I can maybe do without the resistance on it and the other stats. I mean, I don't really need the attack rating that much because of Conviction Aura. In terms of build, I'm also not sure if Vedungo or something else could be considered, but I do like this build here for faster hit recovery, open wounds and whatnot. It is pretty fun, so I went with this one build also for the main guide. And then in terms of other gear choices, again, Gore Rider, Spirit Shield, Medusa's Gate, Storm Shield for the shield. And then I would always go with Enigma just to have teleport. But if you really wanted to go all out physical damage, you would of course use Fortitude. And that would maybe make something like Tomb Reaver even greater. Like it would actually be pretty insane to boost the physical damage even higher. But I hate living without teleport, especially for PvM. And then I still don't know about High Lord's Wrath. It would probably be worth considering as well, especially if we were also just gonna go full out with Guliama's face and having no weird elemental boosting helm like this one. But yeah, I think that's about it. Fun to take a look at. If you ever have a video suggestion idea for something that should revisit, something I did that you thought I could improve upon, it's fun to make these sort of look back videos and just kind of exploring how I can perfect the build even more for PvM or whatever. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and have a good one.